Yes. Welcome from the deepest, darkest, dakest corners of your local Castronics. You're watching Call Kass. I'm Kass. And that's Case.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Good to be here. God, I miss my creamies. I haven't streamed in days.
Oh my God, Kassem. How could you abandon them like that? How could you abandon yourself like that? You live on the internet.
I don't know. I think what happened was I saw how happy Fiona was, and then I was like, wow,
Can we
how
do
did she
that?
do that? Good evening, everyone. Thanks for showing up to Call Kass. So happy to be here. This is our call-in show. Me and Case have a show, and you call us. You provide us with all the content while we sit back and collect the big bucks. Call 844-721-CASS once we open up those phone lines. I think we are screenerless today. I don't want to maybe advertise that, but since it's all people that we know as of right now, this is a screenerless show. We're going to do open lines. We're going to take a big risk. We also have some voicemails to get through. And then right after, Case is going to stream, and then we're going to just, we're going to carry on like there's no problems whatsoever, and we're all not that busy, and we're having all the fun in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Also, just real fast, I want to give a big shout out to the folks that are coming in and resubscribing. Canyon Wilson just hit a year, and if I may hit him with the VIP trumpet. This is something I do for the yearlies. Everyone get your Massimo salutes in the chat as I stand and salute Kenyon Wilson.
Wow. You can see his whole body right now.
You're doing all the stuff. I'm going to have to do the trumpet.
Kass, I think you might have hit your mic or something when you stood up. Can't quite hear you now.
What the fuck?
Okay, now you're good. Now you're good.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. I might have to do the VIP trumpet when I do my stream, but just know that I played it on my end. Canyon, thank you for the 1 year of support. I really appreciate it. And all the Massimo salutes to you in the chat. Also, Christian Allen Pierce just hit 9 months. Thank you, Christian. Call Kass, he says. Entity just hit 23 months. He just won 5,000. Oh, he won it this week. Oh, congratulations, Entity.
That's huge.
Congrats. Daggett is back for 23 months. Oh, a bunch of the 23-monthers. Oh, we're 1 month shy of 2 years on Twitch. Let's go. Thank you, Daggett. Dr. Cool is back for 23 months. Thank you, Doc. Dark Silk's back for 23 months. Hell yes, Dark.
My God.
And Merking gave out 5 community subs. 5 delicious little community subs that she put on a plate and fed to the chat. If you just got a gifted sub from Merking, please give her a Massimo salute or a thank you in the chat. Thank you guys so much for the support. Please keep it going for my co-host and my partner in crime, Case Blackwell. I hope you guys shower him with all that same love and affection when you go over to his streams. Case, how was your week, buddy? It's been a few days.
Pretty good. Did I do anything remotely interesting? No.
You went on a hike.
Oh, I did go on a hike. Oh yeah, I completely.
You gotta be careful,
I was like,
dude.
Like I have an hour and a half until the Patreon. I'll go on a quick hike. I then just sweated up a mountain, and as soon as I checked my phone, I was like, oh my God, it's been 90 minutes. I thought I could do it in like 45. No, I'm too out of shape.
It was the most wonderful screw up because not only do I'm always, I feel like we're always just sort of changing the time and doing it different times because we're all busy, but so I do not blame you at all. And then our brother Kevin Pereira decided to just stop on by and did a full pod.
He sensed
with
it
us on last
somehow in his soul.
So for those of you that are members of the Patreon and you haven't listened to the last Patreon episode, it is Kevin Pereira is our special guest and or sort of just like regular guy who occasionally tunes in. So make sure you guys listen to it if you haven't. So here's the deal. I wanted to talk a little bit today about, and by the way, Henry Lettuce, hello. I see you, first time chatter. If you're new, welcome. Welcome. This is my stream, which is I gotta tell you, man, I've been so busy. I got just stuff up my butt
Mm,
all week. And I was like, I probably, it's like a few weeks ago, I'm like, I should probably like get busy. And I love to stream, but no one's getting rich doing the stream stuff. And so I feel like, well, I want to just have something that sort of bring in some sort of like regular income. I have some fun doing it. And so I got it's kind of a temporary gig, but who knows? I'm doing some producing for my friends who have this company and they do shows and podcasts and stuff. And right out the gate, I'm as busy as I was probably when we were at G4. There's something going on. The thing is like I'm also technically part-time over there, but it's one of those things where it's like you could just like be full-time working, but you don't want to like clock out because there's always it's like you ever get a gig and you want to show like how gung ho you are, but you don't want to overextend yourself, but you do want to show them that you are committed to the gig. That's kind of where I'm at
yeah,
right now. So I'm overextending myself
I have a similar
probably a little
issue.
bit.
I took some
Yeah.
jobs that they were promised to be like 2 hours a couple times a week, a day,
hmm
and the
Yeah.
pay was sort of structured around it being 2 hours of like occasional work. And it is those
hmm
jobs often will. I've been getting a lot of texts at like midnight, basically being like, "Can you fix this thing in this video?" Like, oh, interesting. I guess
Yeah.
it's actually
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. It's 2 hours anywhere within the
Mm-hmm.
cycle of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of how that is just kind of how our industry works. Somebody said that's how capitalism works. Bundle Spout said that, and I kind of agree. Since I'm older, like I came up with the "you just work till you're dead" thing. It's like it doesn't. You just work and work and work, and hopefully one day you'll get to die in a plot in a ground that you paid for.
Yeah.
Opposed to just like in the street above ground. And so that's kind of what we're all aiming for. But I think the younger generation is smarter and they're like, why are we fucking killing ourselves? Like we should be happy. Look how depressed and crazy and psychotic and alcoholic all the boomers are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to avoid that. And so I'm sort of caught in between that because I'm working for my buddies. I actually really do enjoy the work. It's fun. It's actually using some of the skills that I have, which is I feel of use, which is great. But yeah, it's like how much I could just work on this stuff all day. But what happens if like they're like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. Thanks for all that work. And so I don't know, but that's kind of what's going on with me. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to stream as regularly as I have been, but I'm gonna keep streaming the show and the Patreon, and so it's just gonna be more of a hit or miss on what day.
Tell them you'll keep working there, but you have to be able to backpack cam live stream while working.
Yeah. If they paid for it, I'd be all about it. If they're like if they would probably be like, oh, backpack stream, sure, how much is that? I'm like $500 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be like, nope. Uncle Phil, thank you for the 100 cheered bits. I really appreciate it. But yeah, 2 times a week, guaranteed I'll be here. It's going to be for this show and it'll be for the Patreon. Just sometimes we'll just have to change what time and what day. But as of this week, I think we're good for this show on today. We did it a little earlier because I didn't have to shoot a butt video because we shot it yesterday. And Wednesday, our Patreon so far is looking like it's on track. So, yeah, that feels nice. Okay,
Nice.
feels good. In the week that I've had, it's been a big sort of UFO week. And for those of you that watch butt videos or just watch me in general, know that I really enjoy my paranormal. I enjoy my UFO news. I enjoy alien talk. I enjoy my camera going out of focus and always wanting to focus on the thing behind me. These last few days have been very exciting. A fellow, oh geez, my monitor's gone completely back. A whistleblower, I was going to say a fellow whistleblower. A whistleblower has come out with a new book. It's called Imminent. It's by Lou Elizondo. A lot of you guys know Lou, who is a former head of ATIP at the Pentagon, although the Pentagon denies it still.
Ooh.
And he is sort of one of those guys that came out in 2017 when all those videos were being declassified, and was the reason those videos got declassified. And so he finally has a book out, and he did a big Joe Rogan appearance. I don't know if you caught any of that, but it's sort of filled with some new UFO info. And so I thought today we could do open lines with the theme of paranormal. Have you ever seen anything strange? I'm just going to say, have you ever seen anything strange? But also wide open. You can call about anything, update us about anything that's going on in your life. Suborbital, you can give us a political update, just like in general. But like I am totally interested in hearing if you do have something paranormal that you want to share with us, since that's sort of been in my world the last week. Call in with it. And we'll open up the lines here shortly so we can start stacking calls. I don't know if you want to. Do you want to fucking open up the lines?
Pop these lines up wide open. I
Pop
guess
them fucking open.
We can fucking do that.
The lines are open. 844-721-CASS. Call right now to jam and scam y'all. 844-721-CASS. From New York to LA.
It's just that easy to pop these lines.
Damn.
To pop the line, you want to insert your fingers into the line, and then in a come hither motion, open the line up. Actually,
and it's gonna feel like a little, like a wadded up piece of chewed gum.
Yeah, inside the line. But if you're feeling that, then you know the line is about to open, and that's how we popped it open so quickly just now.
Welcome to the official Open Lines, first ever Open Lines call Kass. I'm gonna go ahead and get the show kicking here. Let me see. I think, like I said, you're just gonna be able to call in, and you're gonna basically sit on the line. Okay, you can still hear the show, but you're gonna sit on the line and wait for us to pull you in. There's already a caller in the queue. I see you. Don't worry, just hang in there, and we'll get to you. We also have some voicemails that have stacked up.
Before we get to callers, Kass, just because I'm a little less UFO savvy than you, what is Luis Elizondo's contribution here? Is he dropping hot new leaks?
There's a couple new. So okay, I'll give you a very brief background on Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo worked in intelligence for the government. He was sort of a quiet. I think he worked at the Pentagon even before he started doing the UFO stuff. Did a lot of counterintelligence. He was in the military. He was like one of these. I don't know if it was the Marines specifically, but he was like one of the guys. He was an agent and he killed people. But he was in the Iraq War, and so he has a lot of in the field experience. But then, sort of towards the end of his career, he got into intelligence and counterintelligence, and basically just like how to keep other foreign countries out of our business, how to keep one step ahead of those countries. And so he eventually, because of his experience in counterintelligence and his sort of relationships, one of his friends, also in the government, introduced him to this rocket scientist by the name of last name Lukacsky, something like this. He was basically one of the most senior rocket scientists in the government, and they asked him if he would basically head up this department within the government that was kind of like the government's X-Files, which is we are dealing with things that are in the air that we don't know. We are taking in reports from the Navy and from the Air Force, and we don't really have a mechanism to investigate these things. And so if you could help us do that, we would appreciate it. And they formed this whole thing at the time. Before it was called OSAP, then it turned into ATIP, which stands for like Anomalous Aerial Threat Identification Program, something like this. And it was his job to suss out a lot of the reports that they were getting from pilots and things, because they were getting quite a few, much like they were the cases that we saw in 2017 that were declassified, the gimbal video, the Tic Tac. And so he was the one that got these reports to his desk, and it was his job to sort of investigate them. And once he sort of realized that this was something that's been around for decades, and I'm only like a quarter of the way through the book, but he talks a lot of it on the Joe Rogan podcast. But essentially, he thinks the government has information that the people deserve to know, as uncomfortable as it may be, which, if I'm going to just give you very long story short, we are not at the top of the food chain. Extraterrestrials have been involved with the human race since we can remember, since ancient times, and potentially 0-point energy exists. And the reason we haven't shared it and sort of like turned into this utopia is because of American corporate greed and the aforementioned capitalism. And when he felt the responsibility to tell people about this, he realized he couldn't do his job at the government while also like he realized that this was much bigger than him. And so he decided to make a tough decision and quit making that cheddar, because he was making quite a bit of it at the government. And he came forward, and believe it or not, Tom DeLonge was one of these guys that brought him into the sort of public into the other side of it, the non-government side, which was To the Stars Academy, which essentially put Lou Elizondo and his friend Chris Mellon, who also worked intelligence, on this sort of council that was but like helping get disclosure pushed forward. And they did it through a website, and they did it through a series on TV called Unidentified, where they talked about these declassified Navy videos. A lot of people think, because they go, well, if he's allowed to talk about, because he's allowed to talk about some of this stuff. You're like, why would the government deny that he was a part of this program and deny the program existed, but then also let him come out and say these things, and make him go through a vetting process where he can share certain things and share. It's kind of a weird thing. And a lot of people think he's basically, the theory is he's sent by the government to soft disclose and get the American population ready for the inevitable truth, which is we are, I don't know, fucking lab rats or whatever to these other intelligent beings, these NHI, non-human intelligence. And I kind of buy into it. I don't know. I can't think of a real reason why he would, quote unquote, put his life at risk and lose his money. Right. Currently, the story is he's living out of an RV after achieving the the G15 pay scale within the government, which is like the highest salary you can make as a non-elected officer or government official. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he's come out and said. So that brings us to this point now. So he's written this book. Everything he said within the last few years has been like, I just can't tell you. You're just going to have to take my word for it. Blah, 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 blah. So a lot of people write him off because he provides no proof, even though he was the one that essentially declassified those videos in 2017. The gimbal, the Tic Tac, the Go Fast.
Because of his ATIP involvement.
Yeah. So now he's been kind of going on a press tour, talking about the stuff that he's put into the book. And there's been a couple, just like two quick things, because I know some people are already calling in and I don't want to keep them on the line too long. But a couple of the things that stood out to me was obviously when you see these videos from 2017 on the cover of the book, there is the gimbal. It's the IR photo from the jet that took the gimbal video. He says that was basically there's so much more footage that the government has that is in full HD, ultra fucking 4K that they just won't release. And even if they did release it, I don't think people would believe it. But he says one of these videos, and he talks about this in his book and on his Rogan podcast, was an underwater UAP, USO, they call it, unidentified submersible object, that was bigger than an oil derrick. And you guys have seen oil derricks. They're like just giant, I don't know, man-made islands, like that are made out of concrete and rebar or whatever, that's just like sunk in it. I don't know how they make oil derricks in the middle of the ocean. I honestly can't fathom how that's built. I'm sure there's a documentary or one of those History Channel or Discovery Channel shows that when they build large bridges and things like that. Yeah. So there's an example of an oil derrick. He says they was caught on video, and you can clearly see this giant object pass behind the oil derrick. So they know that it's bigger than the oil derrick because it was bigger than it, and it passed behind it. And it was going 500 to 600 miles an hour underground, or underwater.
Under the water?
Yeah, which is fucking wild. And then that's just like, obviously you go, well, okay, well, where's the video? There's no video, so don't look at me. But that is one of these things when I go, that's fucking cool. And the more you read into a lot of the stuff, the more you realize like a lot's happening in the oceans. But also one of the other things he brought up was an implant that somebody that was removed from an abductee after he said he was taken. And he went to the doctor, and they found this object in his body, and he has a picture of it that he uses in his interview with Ross Coulthart on News Nation, for those of you that want to watch that. You've heard of like alien implants. It's like a weird piece of metal or whatever, and it's like sent up your nose. This was a piece of technology that was metal that was wrapped in a biological, like some sort of tissue. And when the doctor tried to pull it out, it like scurried away in that guy's body. And
he's really hitting all the corners here. It's UFOs, implants, infinite energy.
Yeah, I mean, he does, to his credit, he understands. Like it all sounds crazy. He gets it. He's just like, I'm just telling you what I know to be true. And he doesn't strike me as a guy who like wants to be famous. And I highly recommend the book. It's like $23 for all my UFO heads out there. It's on Amazon. It's cheap. And he also talks about in the footage that you're playing here, he talks about how remote viewing and psychic abilities are real, and which is I've known for a while, but maybe you don't out there. The government and the CIA has used remote viewers to not only they use it essentially during the Cold War specifically to try and get an edge on what Russia was doing. They've used remote viewing for all kinds of things. Most famously, there was
sorry, what's remote viewing?
Remote viewing is the where somebody can it's not an out-of-body experience, but you can be given coordinates and go there in your mind and see stuff, go underground, wherever, and see what is at those coordinates. If I know that sounds fucking wild, but the government has, and I believe still uses remote viewing. Look up Stanford Research Institute, the SRI. There's a lot of that's a whole other
like really
rabbit
good
hole.
Google Maps, like way better than you'd expect.
Really good Google Maps.
Cool.
And some of these guys like Joe McMoneagle, who's got a great interview with Sean Ryan on his podcast. He most famously remote viewed Mars, but he didn't know it was Mars. They gave him coordinates in an envelope, and he basically remote viewed a place that looked like it had like old ancient pyramids, tall, lanky people that were humanoid, and they were dying, and they were trying to get off this particular planet, and they were making plans to, but the Earth or whatever they did to their planet, whatever they did to it was either through like some sort of nuclear catastrophe or environmental disasters, was basically the planet was dying. and they were trying to get off world. And it turned out that he was remote viewing Mars a million years BC, which was the directions inside this envelope that he didn't open. He remote viewed inside the envelope, then he remote viewed the location. So,
I believe it. That's how James Cameron came up with Avatar, actually. He remote viewed
exactly.
Pandora in the future.
And without this crazy psychic power, we would not have the Avatar movies. So that is essentially one of the few things that he talks about in his book. And, that's crazy. I know it's all sounds crazy, but it is one of these things where I tend to buy into it because, I don't know, call it faith, call it a belief in a higher power, call it something. I think I'm going to be crazy for saying this, but I think something's up and we don't know about it.
I mean, I can't argue with you there, Kass. Something's definitely up.
And so if you guys, and we have about 6 calls here to take, and I'm trusting you guys. I'm trusting you. I'm going to start answering these calls. But if you've seen anything strange, or if you've got anything you want to say related to the topic, or you just want to say what's up, give us a call, 844-721-KASS. Me and Case will be more than happy to talk to you. First caller, who's unknown and undetermined. Hi, you're live on Call Kass. I don't have a name, but it looks like you're calling in from New York, unless you're using a VPN. What's going on? Can you hear me? Caller from New York, you're on Call Kass.
Let me make sure they're not muted somehow. Doesn't look like they are.
It doesn't look like they're muted. Without having a call screener there to tell me what their names are, I don't. You're calling from a area code 315 number.
Yo.
Hey, there we go.
There he is. Who's this?
Hey, what's up? Call me Jazz.
Jazz.
Call you Jazz?
Yeah.
Oh, Jazz. Nice.
like ass.
Oh, okay.
With a J
yeah.
in front of it.
Oh, Jazz. Even better.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Very cool. Jazz. Welcome to Call Kass. What are you wearing, Jazz?
Hold on. I think it's a beautiful shirt. It's shit. Let me take it off.
Yes.
Take it off to confirm.
There's no tag on it.
Okay. All right, that'll do. That gives me the image I need in my head. Jazz, thanks for calling in. What's going on today on this Monday night?
Hey, nothing much. Speaking of UFOs, I did see something strange in the sky the other week. Kind of creeped me out.
Ooh.
It just looked like
What'd you see?
Orb. Just looked like an orb. It was zigzagging. I went on Twitter that night just to, how Twitter is awesome. You could just type it in and you get to see everybody talking about that subject.
Absolutely. No problem.
So, I typed in UFO and I did see a UFO that night on Twitter, similar to the one I saw.
Oh, from the area that you were in, or around the area you were in?
I wasn't in the same area, but it was in a different area.
It could have been the same one. Was that your first ever UFO that you've ever seen, Jazz?
It hasn't, and it has not been the first one I've heard of seeing. I have family members who have told me they've seen something.
This is the first one you've personally seen, though?
Oh, yes, it's the first one I've personally seen.
Okay.
And what was your reaction to it?
Actually, it might have been actually the second one I've seen.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Do you remember the first time?
The first time, it was pretty much the same thing. It was like a red orb that zigzags.
Okay.
So you've seen 2 orbs that have zigzagged.
Were they both red?
Yeah.
They're orange and red.
Okay.
They look
and
like.
Did they
planes
zip
at
off? What happened to them? Did they just sort of disappear, or did you get bored? What happened?
Yeah, you just lose sight of them. I was driving the first time, So like I lost sight of it between the buildings. And then the other night I was just laying down and I saw it just zigzag. I went outside and I don't know, you know how it is. It's 2024. We don't know what's real or not anymore. But I think I don't know if it was a UFO. I saw another flying object. It looked like it could have been a Starlink satellite.
Yeah. Yeah, the Starlinks are very
white orb.
commonly. If you see if you're out there, guys, you see a long string of lights. It's most of the time.
But this wasn't a string. This wasn't a string
Sure.
though, which was strange. It was just one of them.
Yeah. Well, do you believe in aliens there, Jas? Do you think that could have been something, or are you more of a realist and you go?
I've been following YouTube videos of aliens for a long time. I'm 29 years old, so I've been on YouTube. It was a lot more interesting back in the day. Now it's just you don't know what's real or not.
It's true.
You can't tell anymore.
It's very true.
My first like proof or evidence that I really believe in aliens is back in the day on YouTube. This was like 2012, 2013. I saw, and this is good enough proof for me, when you have multiple videos at the same location. So, you know.
Yeah, it's great when it's corroborated.
2012. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, other people taking videos, but you know that recently has happened during the Hawaii drone show. You know, so even when it's an explainable thing that's going on, and multiple people take photos of it, it can still be a very easy explanation. And so you know, you're right though. It is hard to tell, especially with AI. I was just messing around with AI before I got on the show today. And I am blown away with what you can do on this stuff. So I'm very skeptical of any new video. That's why I think if Lou Elizondo were to somehow declassify some of this hardcore 4K alien footage or UFO footage, I think most people would be like, it's not real. And rightfully so. They have a right to. What gets my rocks off are the old photos, the stuff that's from the 50s, 60s, you know, video and photos from older generations, decades ago. That's where I start getting.
So you both kind of feel like they don't make UFOs like they used to.
They don't.
Like they're not built to last. The stories aren't as interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Planned UFO obsolescence.
Thank you so much, and thanks for calling in.
No problem. No problem. I hope you guys have a great night.
Thanks, Jas.
Thank you. You too, Jas. Oh boy. We got Smoke Packs on. I know who this is. This is my buddy Smoke Packs. He's on the Call Kassem show. Calls in, I think, every week. I think so far he's one of the few that's managed to call in every week. Smoke Packs, what is going on, brother? What are you wearing?
He might be getting to the phone.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey,
I always hit the mute. I always hit the mute button before the screen because I love listening in so damn much.
No, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
That's
I know you're
that's
waiting
a good move.
sometimes.
So
how are you?
What I'm wearing I'm good. How are we, bro? Kass, congrats on the producing, bro. Getting a gig going. Get off stream, dude. Get out there.
It sucks, man. I don't think I should ever have to technically have a job to make money, so it's really depressing. I should just be given money, and so
I know, dude. I want to give you all my money too, dude. It sucks.
It's a wake up. Thank you for all you who have given me your hard-earned money. Your subscriptions go a long way over here. I'm sorry. What are you wearing, Smoke Packs?
So yeah, what I'm wearing is a Corona Extra t-shirt and Adidas basketball shorts.
Oh, baby, that's a powerful combination.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a baller mode. Yeah, I'm ready to get active.
That sounds hot as hell. Smoke Packs, what's going on with you this week, man? What do you got to say?
I mean, well, on topic of the aliens, man, I'm halfway into that Joe Rogan one with that dude. I just popped it on like randomly. I was like, okay, this guy seems at least most of the guests he gets, like, this guy seems like kind of normal talking about aliens. Let's get into it. And then everything you talked about was basically everything he talks about in that interview so far. like kind of just generalizing who he is, the book, his background in counterintelligence mostly is what he was talking about. The remote viewing, I read on his Wikipedia he was a part of, and he's like some of the big names he's been a part of, like those guys' sessions, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Apparently, he even did a session of remote viewing himself. So he's a not just somebody who was like reading reports on it, but it sounds like he also has done it and know that it works. Specifically, again, there's like a part of your brain that they've scientifically figured out if this particular it's got some weird name like coordinate something, you know how like brain parts got weird names, but they figured out if you've got this particular part of your brain and it's slightly bigger than average, your sixth sense and your psychic abilities and your abilities also fall in line with your percentage of chance of being abducted goes up as well when that part of your brain is larger. So I found that to be really interesting.
Smoke packs.
Wow.
Do you
I
also
didn't know about that. That's crazy.
Do you also believe in
What-
remote viewing? Is that a thing you think is real?
Yeah. I mean, I believe in all that stuff, kind of like in some form, like almost like not like religiously or like on 100% belief, but like I'm willing to suspend enough of my disbelief to be like,
Sure.
even myself, where I feel like I think I could do it, you know?
Do you have a particular thing or fact or just, anecdote that convinced you that it's real?
Smoke weed.
Smoking weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not
What
like
if they
trying to like
found out-
promote or anything, but just for me, that's just like you enter the mind space a lot. That's like almost any kind of like substance is going to make you get internally in your head.
Sure.
So like, I don't know, just kind of thinking inside my mind and wondering from there what is out there and what could be, but then understanding just the situations of reality that we exist in as well. I kind of take it all in.
I was thinking about this. What if they told you that smoking weed inhibited your ability to remote view and or communicate with aliens? Would you smoke less weed, or would you think that was too far? You'd be too far gone to even attempt.
I honestly, if it was that serious enough, I'd have to give it up because drugs aren't even worth
boy.
it. Just it's
Good boy.
like really just to experience something like higher than ourselves. Like, what's the point?
That's the ultimate
Like-
high, brother.
I'd go the other
yeah,
direction.
that's what I'm saying, bro.
I'd say you guys just
You
haven't
just-
smoked enough weed. I'm gonna prove you.
Oh, you got to
wrong.
punch through.
I'm gonna
Yeah, you got
punch
to punch
through.
through.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
don't try to tell smoke packs that. Nah.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what things we do and ingest on a daily basis hinder or help the ability to grow that part of my brain. Because brother, I would love. I know some people go like, I would never want to be abducted. I'm scared shitless. I saw fire in the sky at a young age. It did scare me. However, I would go through a trauma to have that answer, to know finally that there is something else, that there are other intelligence out there. They do want my semen to make alien hybrid babies. They want to show me what the world looks like from that aerial point of view. I would do it. I really would. I would be down for it. And I would be scared, but I would finally know, and I wouldn't have to fucking read books like this and watch fucking crazy YouTubers and TikToks. I would do it. Would you guys be abducted if given the opportunity?
How molested
feel like-
do I get? It would be my
The
first.
most.
Yeah,
most?
that's what I need to know.
Absolute most.
What's the butt stuff like?
It's essentially the equivalent of Harvey Weinstein, like
Damn.
a sweaty Harvey Weinstein lumbering over your body and drooling on you as he just like started licking parts of your
That
body.
would be a
and
real
you can-
bummer if every single alien was just an abuser that visited this planet to do Harvey Weinstein shit.
Yeah.
That's
If
kinda
we're in
what
like
they
a
are.
Warhammer, if we're in a Warhammer 40K situation, I don't know. I'd be kind of. I don't
What's
know.
a Warhammer
But
40K situation? What does that mean?
Oh man, dude, it's gonna involve like flaying of your skin while
Mhm.
being like just stretched
Okay.
across like some medieval space type spaceship.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be good.
You
Dude.
sort of get sacrificed to a skeletal Donald Trump on a giant golden throne.
Legitimately, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not good.
What if like he wouldn't fillet your skin in any way and hurt you, but it is Harvey Weinstein rubbing his wet body up and
He's like,
down
if you want to be
like a
psychic, I just need a
Nuru
quick massage.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous, but I could use a quick massage.
I guess for the sake of humanity, I'd be willing to do it just so I get the story out there. Like someone's gonna have to do it, and I always figured, fuck it, I'll be the truth bearer. Like, give me the role, I guess, you know.
I'm with you, man. I think I'm with you on that. We gotta know. I gotta
Once
know
you're
the
psychic, it's gonna be so easy to get movie roles because you can get inside the character like so easily.
truth. That's right.
Well, that's what I was
That's
thinking.
right,
So
man.
I also wanted to bring up just real quick. I'm also in the camp that the UFO stuff is really military intelligence disinformation on like a hardcore scale from
Sure.
Cold War. That they have to keep up, and a lot of this is experimental nuclear aircraft or gliders or pieces of metal that they just fucking shoot in the air and maybe magnetize.
Yeah, maybe.
Absolutely. That is a very valid point. I mean, what better way to keep other countries guessing and keep them in the dark about our actual capabilities in the air than saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, we don't know what it is. It's alien technology." Oh, is that a was that an alien that just tuned in?
No.
Whoa!
Whoa!
I guess
they
it's
had
not.
access
They're
to
saying
Call
it's
Are you
Kass?
cloaked? Are you cloaked?
What? No.
Okay, I think your cloak, your shape-shifting ability just sort of quit for 1 second.
Oh,
'cause-
whoops. No, that's not
I don't
something
know.
that happens to me. So
Yeah, what if?
I think that's Fiona hacking in. I think chat's right. I think that's just Fiona.
Oh, is that for you? Is that
Yeah,
what it
she's
is?
accidentally joining the Ninja Link.
What if you're a disinformation agent and you're telling me that that's Fiona when it's actually you?
If
I don't
anybody's a
know who to
disinformation,
believe.
it's Fiona.
If Case wants to rub up on you later, you'll know.
Yeah. Listen, Cass, we should meet up later this week and I'll show you how to be psychic.
Yeah,
It'll need to be
okay.
one-on-one and tell Ashley to leave
One-on-one.
your
Yeah,
place.
dude.
I guess. Dude, how funny would that be? A whole series of Fiona, the no formation agent?
Should the denial that information even exists? There's fucking nothing in it. I don't fucking know. You don't need to worry
What?
about it. What?
It's all Looney Tunes, dude.
This is fucking Looney
Dude.
Tunes.
It's Looney Tunes. Smoke Packs, thank you, brother. Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Thanks,
We'll
Smokebags.
see you next week.
See ya. Peace.
You know, that brings a very interesting question I'm going to ask our callers is would they allow themselves to know the truth if it meant that they had to have a sweaty Harvey
Well,
Weinstein?
what's
up
the
and down?
intention of the sweaty Harvey Weinstein? Is it as twisted as actual Harvey Weinstein, who's just like a sad, horny freak?
Let's just say he can kiss you below the belt, but
Is
he
it scientific
wouldn't do-
kissing? Are they just trying to scientifically determine the
I mean, to
effectiveness
them
of
it's
kisses?
science. To
Okay.
them it's science.
Okay.
You know,
It's
he can
science.
kiss you below the belt, and he can jay off into a ficus that's in the corner.
Okay.
But there's no like hardcore penetration or anything like that. So,
Okay. And it is for science.
it is well, to them it's science.
Okay.
You know, to us it's SA. But
Okay.
let's see what Card King has to say. Card King, welcome back to Call Kass. What are you wearing, my friend?
Oh, today I couldn't get dressed up for the show. I'm so sorry, Cass. I'm so sorry, Case.
It's
But
okay.
I am in my work grubbies. I had to get in that long lawn work into here today. But then, so as soon as I got done, I ran right back in, especially when we're talking about ghosts, aliens, strange creatures. I had to come on, man.
Of course. So glad. First of all, work grubbies, still sexy as hell. Glad to have you. Yeah, what do you think of what we're talking about? Have you sort of been paying attention to what's going on out there in the news?
Recently, yeah, some of the newer sightings I've been seeing have. I always kind of say that I'm a 99.9% believer, as in I don't believe 99.9% of it, but that there's that 0.1, either through experience or just seeing stuff that it just. And sometimes I just need a group of people to like, yeah, that was weirder than hell. And living in Montana, we have all sorts of sightings that happen, you know, the real ones and then the fake ones, like the weather balloon situation. So it's always kind of interesting to see. And you always hear people that have alien stories. And I've had I've got one that was a possible encounter, but it was not me. It was a relative. But for me, the stuff that really started spooking me out was visitations from dead relatives and ghosts and that kind of area that has, particularly recently, has really kind of piqued my interest.
Okay, first of all, I want to hear about the relative that had the sighting, but you're saying you've had personal ghost encounters as well? Is that what you said?
If my Reiki wielding aunt is correct about some of the things about determining what are dreams and what are actually visitations, then yeah, I think I've had 3 visitations.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Whatever you want to start with right now, brother, I'm all ears. Okay. Tell me what the most interesting, maybe craziest thing that's happened to you or that you've heard of.
Well, to me directly was when my dad decided to show up right after he died. This was 2020. It wasn't COVID. His was lung cancer. But we had the chance to say our goodbyes, everything like that. But apparently he still had some unfinished business because at his wake, my aunt came up to me and said, he visited, your cousin. And he apparently just showed up, told her to make sure that you were doing okay and to take care and to make sure you were eating. And I was so grief-stricken at the point, I was just like, just leave me alone. I don't want to hear this. Then about 2 weeks later, he shows up, and I know that it was him because I had shrunk down to being my 7-year-old self, and he came out through his old bedroom door, and he looked like he had just gotten out of a shower. And it was that kind of thing where it was I think the way visitations sometimes work, and I think it's one of the things about discerning whether it's a visitation or if you're just having kind of, a psychological thing happening, is it was the way I remembered my dad when I was a kid. But sometimes spirits will attach themselves to those parts most familiar so that they will actually be able to contact you rather than scare the living shit out of you. And I can remember sitting, but the thing was is that I was conscious enough in the dream, like a little bit of a waking dream, that I kept looking at him and crying and saying, "Dad, you're dead." And the dream was for at least 20 minutes was me trying to convince this person that he had passed on. But he was so close and we did so much of that dream. When I woke up, it took about 30 minutes before I got out of bed of reminding myself he's not here anymore, because it was so wrecking for, to have him come back and have that connection reestablished. And I was hurting. And then I knew for certain that he had, well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask if you were able to communicate with him. When you said, "Dad, you're dead," did he respond in any way, or was it sort of more dreamy?
He shook his head. He rejected it. He would not accept the possibility of it.
Oh, so maybe he didn't know, and he was still sort of roaming whatever sort of plane he was on, and he hadn't sort of gone to the other side yet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, at least from my aunt, who is, again, more in touch with the spirits than I ever could hope to be, he decided that he was actually going to go see the world. However, I know for certain that he was the one that showed up to me and my cousin, because after that happened, I called her up and we were talking about a few things, but I needed to make sure, I just wanted to kind of broach the subject with her. And he said, "Yeah, I heard, Aunt so-and-so said that Dad showed up." And he's like, "Yeah, did she tell you the whole story?" And he says, "Yeah, he told me that he showed up and told you to make sure I was eating." And she took a little bit of a breath for a second and says, "Well, that wasn't the entire message." I said, "What was the entire message?" And she said, "He came back to tell you to make sure that you were eating, to stop smoking so much pot." And in that moment, I knew for certain that was Dad, because he came across the galactic plane to make 2 things sure. 1, make sure you're still eating, and 2, stop smoking so much pot, dumbass.
Did you heed that advice in any way?
Well, I definitely got the eating part down, and usually if I'm going through anything...
Sorry, Dad, you're dead. Can't tell me what to do. Wow.
At least I'm not drinking, which was the family way of kind of dealing with things.
What if you'd been like, "But do start smoking crack. It'll unlock your mind." Pot's too weak. Get off that weak shit. Do something harder.
Oh no, he
Yeah.
hated stimulants. He couldn't handle that.
Oh, my
But no, it
God.
was. But it's one of those things when it comes across the the ethereal plane like that, you always think it's going to be some big, profound thing. But and I guess like the other time and he actually showed up one more time after that, but that time it was just to show off, because that second time around he showed up and I was in the dream, I was back in my old apartment, and he just showed up. And in my dream, at least, I had like an exercise machine that had looked something like a Bowflex crossed over with a pull-up bar machine. And he decided that now that he was dead, he was just going to have fun. So he decided to just start doing pull-ups and doing push-ups, and he just started working off that thing. It's like, I'm not 69 anymore dealing with this shit. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, Jesus. That's incredible. I 100% buy into all that stuff, by the way, of course. I do feel my mom, and I'll tell you, I've said this before, my mom's got, if we're talking about that part of your brain that's a little more grown than the others, I think my mom's probably one of those people. She said some stuff to me that just she couldn't ever know. And, I don't know if it's mother's intuition or whatever it was, but there's been some times where I'm like, that's too on the nose and too accurate. Something otherworldly is happening here. Before I let you go, Card King, yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, both like family lines that led to me had a bunch of Midwestern hoodoo events to happen to them. Like I had an aunt that knew exactly when her brother died, like down to like, she knew it like almost 2 minutes before like the phone call started going out. But yeah, like various members, men and women, it is cross gender lines, is that, and I think that's a part of me that doesn't want to have access. Like it's a part of me that like my disbelief is set up and so stringent, so that if I do have that little antenna in my mind that can reach out to the other side, that disbelief kind of jambles it up and leaves me less open to that kind of stuff.
Well, if you are sort of covering it up, I bet you there's a way to access it whenever you're ready. It's just one of those things where you've sort of got to be emotionally ready to handle that kind of stuff, I think. And before I let you go, if you can quickly give me the UFO sighting that I think you said a friend or a relative had that you believe?
Yeah, yes, this wasn't an UFO sighting. This was an honest-to-God alien encounter from this person's account.
And who is this person, and do you trust this person?
I trust this person dearly, but I will say that they're within my close family. I have no brothers and sisters, but I do have an extended family. I won't name them out directly because just in the off chance, I don't want to put case anywhere near this, but the off chance that anything about this, I don't want this coming down on her, because she's had a lot of experiences, and I don't want this, even like slightly, coming back to her, because we all know, this show is just going to blow up so much. So their account of it was...
Man, it sounded sarcastic when you said that. I'm sure you believe that we're going to do
cynicism
great.
is just sense-making in a very, very direct manner. It's kind of similar with humor.
Okay,
But their experience when they were 5, they woke up in the middle of the night because they heard something going through their house, and they got up and opened the door and they peeked outside. And to this day, they will describe what they saw coming down the hall as a Power Ranger. Like it looked like the red Power Ranger, but without eyes. Just the mouth, no visor, but just like one solid piece. And it had its head slumped against the wall as it was walking down. And it was just slowly walking down the hall. And she didn't know what it was, and ran out. And all of a sudden it woke up and it grabbed her by the arm, and she managed to pull away. She ran straight to her parents' room, but as soon as that happened, there was lights that came on around the house and then disappeared up into the sky and vanished. Her parents and the other person in the house didn't wake up, and to this day she can't get anybody to believe, even though this was physical contact. There wasn't any information exchange. They didn't say that they had any kind of experience like that, but this, according to them, and again, this is somebody who they've had a lot of experiences. There's a lot you can say to disbelieve them, but as things kind of progress, I'm having a hard time kind of saying, that definitely a possibility it could have happened.
Wow, I've never heard of an alien being described as a Power Ranger, although it would make sense. They've got the big head.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got some sort of galactic, unibody suit happening, some big epaulets on the shoulders.
If you put a Power Ranger right next, again, and this is back in the early 90s, and they were under the age of 8, so there was it could have been her mind trying to, just kind of calculate or trying to process it as fast as possible, and the first thing that her brain jumped to was Power Ranger. But if you put a Power Ranger next to a gray, well, like the big head, the gray mouth, there's at least enough similarities there.
I saw Power Ranger, and his eyes were as big as Sony Discmans, and these things shot out of its wrists. They look like pogs, and then his feet look like 2 cassette tapes back to back. Yeah, I could understand using whatever's around you as a reference. That makes perfect sense. And to be honest, I believe her, man. Tell her she's got the belief of one very big streamer on Twitch. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but we're on our way to the top, brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
she's got the support of a very random
guy.
Talk
shows doing big numbers on views. Like, we're working there.
Thank you. We are doing it with the help of you and all the folks that are calling in on a weekly basis. Thank you, Card King.
Well, thanks for letting us on, man. Take care, Kass. Take care, Kate.
Have a good one.
Have a great night. Wow, what an encounter, man. What an encounter. A Power Ranger. He's right. You put it right up next to a gray. Same size head. Skinny little body.
Maybe that's just like a lost alien. He's in his Halloween costume. He's sad because he can't find his parents or her parents.
Yeah, he's just reaching out for help. Can you help me? She pulls back. She recoils. Design time for the 22 months. Thank you, brother. Exterminator for 23 months. Big Massimo salutes to my boys coming back. Just-O-Matic, 23 months. The Roller for 11 months. One more for a year. Mixed Reactor, thanks for the follow. Jan Carlo back for 4 months. Hell yes. I saw my buddy Gavin Purcell from AI for Humans in the chat. Good to see you, Gavin. Good topic so far. We've got 4 more calls, okay? 4 more. One's from Canada. Then we've got Matthew Liddell, Chief Happiness Officer, who hopefully is going to be responding to sort of the allegations that were made during the big Gnome Pro video from last week. We've got somebody calling in from Texas, and then we've got James calling in. Those are our next 4 calls. So if you're still waiting, please, thanks for hanging in. Our next caller, all the way from Canada with a 778 number. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Hello, Kass and Case. Dr. Cool here.
Oh, baby. Good
Hey, Dr. Cool. Good to see you and hear from you again. I'm surprised we didn't have your name in there already from the last time you called, unless this is your first time.
Oh, no, this is my first time. I can't contribute to the political landscape in the United States. I'm in Canada, so I just watch in horror from the sidelines.
Consider yourself lucky, Dr. Cool. Doctor, what are you wearing?
Oh, right. Gray khaki pants, black tee, and a black and white button-up cardigan.
Beautiful image. By the way, gray khakis? I don't think I've ever seen a gray khaki.
Really?
Welcome. Yeah. Have you? I've seen a gray slack. Is that what a gray khaki is?
Maybe they're beige. Beige? I don't know. Might be a little colorblind.
Okay, yeah, all right. That's fine. Dr. Cool, welcome to the show. We're talking aliens, apparently ghosts, really just whatever's going on. What's up in your part of the world over there?
So I'd love to share my story about my CE5 experience.
Oh, you did CE5. Now, this is cool.
I did CE5. Yeah.
Can you
so
explain
a bit
to
of a
the
background.
chat what's? Yeah. Okay. Great. Give us a background. Maybe explain what CE5 is, so that for the idiots that don't know. And yeah, please, I'd love to hear this.
So I would say Kassem described it fairly well with remote viewing. I'd say it's sort of in the same family as that. It kind of is a big mental game and requires kind of putting your feelings out there to the universe and hoping something kind of finds you back. It was popularized by, or at least made popular by Stephen Greer, who's sort of the Elon Musk of CE5. So it's kind of, he's kind of tainted the name of it, but I can tell you firsthand that my experience was absolutely insane, and yeah, just still trying to unpack what happened. One of the interesting things that you brought up was that kind of enlarged piece in the brain that kind of acts as a antenna. One of the kind of awesome things I learned was that part of the brain is actually depicted in old hieroglyphics. If you look up like the pineal gland or the Eye of Horus, it's trippy. Like it was just to see it, and I don't know what it means, but it's certainly interesting. So yeah. So what happened for me is I'm usually just a by the sidelines person. I'm like, oh, someone tried CE5, interesting. But I watched this 10-minute video from a guy on a YouTube channel called Project Unity, and he basically gave a really quick tutorial on how to do it. And I just decided to follow it on a day when my mind was super clean. They said the best way to kind of get into it is to, you got to be in a good headspace. You don't even want to have caffeine or pot or anything like that. You just want to be very clear-headed and very positive. And then it's just as simple as kind of closing your eyes and kind of picturing the universe and just saying like, hello, I'm here and I'd like to meet you, sort of a thing. That's kind of how you get into it. I was, of course, skeptical about it, but I just wanted to try it. So on a day where I was just super clear-headed, I just finished some heavy squats and deadlifts, so I just had this kind of post-workout euphoria, feeling good. I just sat down in a chair, put on a... you know, I don't like to brag.
Okay. Right.
Okay,
I'll just
300.
assume that it's
Oh, 300. I knew it.
Oh my fuck. Okay. Anyway, forget I asked. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I sat myself down in a chair and just decided to kind of open myself up, and I didn't know how long it was going to take. I didn't know what was going to happen. But honestly, within about 1 minute, I connected with something. It was like, you know, there's no kind of, I guess there is a handbook, but I just didn't know what was going to happen. And 1 minute in, I connected with something. It just felt like sort of a kind of like a Bluetooth pairing where I just kind of latched on.
Damn.
And
so it was a feeling and not necessarily. Did you see anything? Sorry, maybe you're going to get to this, but was it just a feeling or did you see anything above you?
So my experience was purely feelings and then kind of leaving my body. What started happening is I started experiencing these rhythmic waves resonating through my heart and out through my body. And it kind of like started at a 1 in terms of intensity. And the sensation sort of felt like, I don't know if you've ever had physiotherapy or if you've ever had this kind of electrical pads put on a muscle and then you kind of dial it up just to stimulate the muscle. That's kind of what it felt like, but in these kind of pulses, like a voo, voo, voo. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. This has not really happened to me before. And every 10 seconds, it just kind of ratcheted up more and more and more until it basically crescendoed. I felt like I was inside of a beehive or inside of a giant tuning fork is the best I can describe it. And it was just these wave after wave. And like I have friggin' electrocuted myself in a giant vat before by accident. And it was
by accident.
That was kind of how powerful this was. I felt like I tapped into, I guess, an energy field. It just felt like a different plane of energy that I was not on before, and that I just kind of tapped into is the best I'd explain it. So it's just getting more and more intense, and all of a sudden I start kind of panicking a little. I feel like I'm leaving my body, and that starts to really scare the shit out of me, and it was kind of this do or die moment. And I just, at that moment, just decided I threw the blindfold off and just stopped. And I kind of really regret doing it because I don't know where that was going to take me. And for the next 10 minutes afterwards, I could feel energy fields off of objects like a foot away from my hand. Like if I just kind of touched my hand above a book, I could just feel static electricity coming off of it. And I still don't know what it all meant to this day, but I think there's definitely some sort of energy or something that we have the ability to tap into. I don't know what it does. Anyhow,
Wow.
that's my story.
Wow. That is a hell of a story. I've never heard of somebody using that. I just haven't really probably heard a lot of the CE5 stuff, but I usually just always assume people are sort of meditating their way into seeing a few anomalous things in the sky. Very cool that yours was all feeling based. And somebody mentioned in the chat that maybe you had an arrhythmia after working out. I'm going to go ahead and just dispel that because that's less cool and less interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this was after working out. I can't say whether it was or wasn't arrhythmia, but I can tell
arrhythmia
you
is on the
the feeling
table.
I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If that's arrhythmia, then sign me up because it felt great. I've never felt happier in my life. I really felt 10 out of 10 happiness in that point because I felt like I connected with something. I guess I'm kind of underplaying the mental part, and maybe that was a arrhythmia euphoria. No idea.
So it felt like a high, but I guess
but
did it also feel scary because you said you kind of threw the blindfold off? So was there a tipping point where you're like, this is too much stimulation?
Yeah, it was just not. It just kept crescendoing.
Wow.
So there, and I was leaving my I could feel myself leaving my body, and that was just a point of didn't want to continue that.
Sounds
but it was
tantric,
if it was arrhythmia or something, I had full control over it. I could have pulled the plug at any time. So, yeah.
And you've never done it since, huh? Not again?
So I have tried to do it since, but I just, in the back of my mind, I have a kind of a fear of getting there, and I think potentially that's stopping me from getting there again because you kind of just have to be all in is the kind of thing behind it. I just don't think I'm ready to try again.
I don't mean this to sound diminishing in any way, but it does sound kind of similar to experiences I've heard described to me from people who do DMT, which surprisingly I've never done.
I think there's a connection in between what people go through in DMT and meditation and CE5. I think it's resonating to a certain frequency, which could all be related. So I think that's cool.
Your guess is as good as mine. Anyhow, thanks,
all right.
guys.
Thanks, Dr. Cool. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night. Thanks for sharing the story, brother.
That shit was kind of crazy.
Whoa, is that Casey? Did you just see that?
Yeah. Sorry, that just put me in a headspace for a sec.
You just got, I don't know what you did, but you tapped into
I tapped in
Akashic
very
record or
briefly,
something.
and then I immediately panicked.
We've got we've got a few callers left. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to the last couple. Matt the Stat and whoever just called in from New York. We may have to take you next week. I've got a call from Texas right after Matt here, and then James, and then those will be our last 3 calls. That way we can get over to Case so he can do a little bit of a stream before the night is over. Matt Liddell, our Chief Happiness Officer, you are now on the line. Welcome to Call Kass. What are you wearing, Matt?
Hello, Cass. Hello, Case, and hello, Kendall, that just walked by. I am wearing just boxers again. Been in a better mood this week, so this time against
good.
still the Sasquatch on the left, a gray on the right, and they're both holding a hand of a leprechaun, and swinging them back and forth type of thing, and they're just walking, having a nice time. So it's been a good week. To answer your questions, I do believe in aliens. I like the ancient alien theories and stuff like that, but just at the base of simple math of how many stars, how many planets, how many this, how many that, it is literally, in my mind, impossible. I think it would be easier to get struck by lightning and bitten by a shark in the middle of the Sahara Desert that there are not aliens in here. That exist. So, and
the
the
Drake
Harvey
equation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about the Harvey Weinstein bit there? The question was posed to the chat if you could know tomorrow if there were aliens and what the truth was, but in order to get that information, you had to have a Harvey Weinstein-like alien lumber over you, sweaty, naked, nude, kissing you up and down.
100% yes.
100%
That means 100% yes. I would know that shit, and then I would spread it. I would make sure that you might be one of the first people I call, Cass. Then I can't remember his name right now. But the ancient alien, the gentleman that I can't remember right now, Giorgio. He'd be on the he'd be the second person I call. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
we're going full tilt on this. If that was an option, sign me up.
I appreciate the honesty, the quick answer there. I love to spread it. I'm in total agreement with you. We're getting a few comments here from the chat, Matt, and I know you're in a good mood. Maybe this might put you in a bad mood again. But last week there were some pretty damning accusations put forth by another one of our Cream Team members, Gnome Pro. You haven't had a chance to respond, but there was a video made. There was like a 5-6 minute video made about how you're actually not who you claim to be. I was trying to defend you, but I also don't have all the facts. Do you want to make a response to this?
Oh, I would love to. Had a nice trip down to Florida, like I said from the last week. I saw the video. I watched it a few times, and just to go over a few of these lies and really what it comes down to is for such a wonderful, I would say, great person Gnome Pro is, and great at his job and everything he does. Very poor investigating on this part. We can start off with the reporter gets my name wrong, so I don't even know who this Matt Little is. But if that's the one they're talking about, then it wasn't me throughout the whole video. So
Okay,
I don't
I'm
know
glad
if
it's not pronounced Little, because when I heard that in the video, I was like, oh, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. So it's Liddell. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, great.
And
All right,
so either I know that he can't, Gnome Pro can't get the top tier talent, but Jesus, I don't know if he was scraping the barrel or what on that one. He kind of has me one, like with Charles Manson. All that was that I was pen pals with him when he was in jail. He was
innocent enough. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we just he's a big lover of carrot cake. And we just exchanged recipes and stuff like that. Nothing serious, I wasn't, waiting for him to get out or marry him or any crazy shit like that.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't think that you were waiting to marry him. Were you waiting to marry him or?
No,
okay.
I wasn't.
Oh,
no,
just
no,
carrot cake. Okay. Well,
just carrot cake.
Solves that. Yeah, it's just easy. Okay. What else?
Oh, there was one of me on the Kennedy's car when he got shot. In Dallas.
Yeah, you were there at the assassination.
Yes, and I was, but what he forgets to tell you was, or he might not know, I was there trying to stop Gnome Pro because I found out, I worked with the CIA a lot, and we found out that there was a shooter in the grassy knoll, and I was trying to stop Gnome Pro. We believe, and we found out that he was the shooter in the grassy knoll.
Oh my God!
And
not only were you
Go ahead.
there at the assassination of JFK, like Gnome Pro said, but it turns out you were trying to stop Gnome Pro from the assassination?
That's right. You know,
Wow.
these are the little
What a
things.
turn.
These are the little things that his organization, you know, likes to forget. So I mean, you know,
incredible.
and
There's a
I'm
photo
ju-
there. I think that might be Matt in the back there, next to that lady with the red and white dress.
You're not a bike cop, are you, Matt?
Are you a bike?
No,
were you a
no.
bike cop?
Okay.
Okay.
No, I was the guy that was jumping on. You know, when it after the shot, I jumped on the trunk.
Oh, that
I
was you.
But
Oh, okay.
I've heard
Wow.
a
That
lot of
was
stuff
me,
today, Matt,
yeah.
but I do believe that. That one I do believe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of
yeah,
course.
yeah. I was at that point when I saw that it was already done. I said, "Well, I'm already down here. Let me grab a souvenir." And so I jumped on that real quick.
The souvenir being his brain matter.
Yes, because
Yeah.
you know I've heard so many, you know, all the stories from how you know the Russians did that with Hitler's brain and Putin and blah blah blah. You've heard all the stories.
Of course. So look, it sounds
of
like
course.
you've defended yourself wonderfully. You've provided explanations to all the sort of photos that were put forward by Gnome Pro last week. Do you have a response? Do you want to, hit the ball back his way, or are you willing to squash this? Like, how?
Let me
can
phrase
we
it this
get
way.
you
Why
guys-
do you think he's doing this to you, Matt? What's going on?
That's a great question. What is going on? What did you do to him, or what did
I
he do to
think,
you?
yes, I think it's when it comes down to it, it's pure jealousy.
Okay.
He sees that I you know, everything I've heard and seen, that I believe I'm a liked person in the community of the Cream Team. People in his stream, you know, like me, and I just think he doesn't like to share the spotlight. I think, you know, he's a little bit of a diva, and a little bit, you know, but I think he just he likes to cut me down so that I'm on his level, and so, you know, he just want to get me, you know, doesn't want me to get too much recognition and stuff like that. So, you know, it's, you know, I think he said, like, this is my stream, I should be the one that everyone likes, and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. And so it's a jealousy thing. Okay. Well, look,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. I'm assuming we'll get a call from Gnome Pro, and we'll see how he handles that. But I think you represented yourself well today, Matt. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate the story, and wish you a great Monday night. Thanks again for calling.
Thanks, and thank you to both of you. And if you ever hear anything about that Harvey Weinstein deal, please give me a call. I'll be up for it
Be the first.
anytime.
Yep,
Okay.
Of course. Thank you, Matt. Wow. I'm so excited about the Harvey Weinstein, the potential Harvey Weinsteining. Almost like he would do it if he wasn't going to get the
And
information.
we could have lost
about
the
it.
alien part, I guess, and just been like,
Yeah, we could have just lost that. We got a couple more calls. We've got a 726 area code from Texas, followed by James. Hi from Texas. You're on Call Kass. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
James, how's it
Hey,
going?
who are we speaking with?
I'm Saber1 in chat.
Hey, Saber One.
Yeah, SAVRONE.
Oh, Saver One. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Saver One? Welcome to the show. What are you wearing?
I got a gray and black Marvel shirt. I just got done playing Rocket League, and I'm surrounded by comics. So, you know, we could be best friends, probably.
Oh, God. That is so hot. A man after my own heart. Thanks for hanging on for 36 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry
What
for
do
the
you
wait.
got for us today, Saver? What's going on?
Okay, so I'm gonna validate everything I'm saying by if you allow me to post a tweet in chat.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
If it lets you.
It's not
Okay,
inappropriate,
so-
is it?
No, it's not. So this is from 2017,
Okay.
from when the Patriots played the Falcons. A little bit before tip-off, I predicted the Super Bowl and that it would go to overtime.
Okay, you
February
did. This
5th,
looks like
2017.
tweeted
Yeah.
at 3:28 p.m. February 5th. You said the Patriots were going to score 34 points. The Falcons were going to score 28 in the first, and then a Super Bowl overtime. I think that's what I'm reading here. And what was the end score of that game, Saver?
Exactly as you see it. And the funny thing about that tweet is that people didn't like it for some reason, but maybe some people in chat would like to change that. Maybe it will imbue you with some of that abilities if you did that. Maybe, I don't know. Or you could just give me a sub or something. Maybe that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. Well, look, I'll throw a like your way. I think that's probably safe enough to like a tweet from 2017 about the score of the Super Bowl. So you're saying, Saver, that was that a lucky guess, or do you sort of possess some psychic ability?
So when I was in high school, on the dry erase board with my classmates, I put the whole NBA tournament on the board, and I started asking the classroom. Of course, we were going for the Spurs, and that's who won in 2003, but we predicted every outcome on both sides of the bracket, and the Spurs went 4-2, and that's exactly what we predicted.
So it was a team effort. This wasn't just you're saying?
Yeah, it was a team effort. So go team, go Spurs, go.
Wow. Okay, so you've got a real knack for sports. Do you have a winner of this coming up Super Bowl season you'd like to imbue for us, to those of us that gamble?
We'll see. That's the thing. You have to wait till before the game, because like Edgar Casey, when he would tell people what was happening, he would get severe headaches and sick. So I learned from history. So
there's
if
a
you want to
physical
know,
ailment.
If there's a physical ailment, Akashic record, I believe they call it, is what you're tapping into, maybe.
Do you ever do like, what about tennis? Isn't that coming up, the U.S. Open? Can you randomly ordain the U.S. Open winner? Let's say on the men's side.
Just anything we can make a little bit of money on.
Just make a bunch of grunts, and that's probably what's going to happen.
Oh, okay. So we just sort of grunt and ordain the winner from
grunts.
that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, grunt, and then it will come to you.
Well, that's really good advice, guys. Wait until the day of the game, do some grunts, and make a tweet. That way you can prove it on a Twitch stream 6 years later or 8 years later, and then you'll be the next Saver. What is it? Saver 7? Saver
1.
Yes. I got called Sauron once when I sent y'all comics at G4, but that's fine. It's like
yes. Okay, now it's starting to come together. Well, yeah, I appreciate all the support, and thanks for calling in to Call Kass. Please call us again. Love to have you back on the show, but
thanks, Saver.
I have a lot of other remote viewing things that have happened in my lifetime. Maybe next time I call in, I could discuss them. Unless you want me to
this will not be the last time we talk about this stuff, and so please call us in, call back in, because we will be talking about spookies on the regular here on this show, since it seemed to be such a hit.
And I have seen a UFO as well, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna call back and we can discuss that in the future. So appreciate having me.
Please. Thank you so much. We'll see you in chat. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Man,
I think we should call all of these topics spookies. It all falls under the umbrella.
We'll have a spookies night. Big thanks to Loco Puppet for the 8 months. Welcome back. Jimmy, thanks for resubscribing for 4 months. He's in his own cream team 24/7 self-service, baby. Chris, thanks for the follow. All right, final caller of the night. This is James, the caller from Florida. I'm sorry, we're out of time. Please call us back next week. I appreciate you hanging on the line for 5 minutes. But our call screener's not here, so I couldn't find a way to tell you that without hanging up on you. So please call us next week for Call Kass, same time or same day, probably a little bit later in the day. James, welcome back to Call Kass. How are you doing? What are you wearing?
I'm doing good. I am just wearing some boxers, hanging out after the gym.
Hanging out. Oh, buddy, that sounds. So you're not only the blood is pumping, but you're hanging out. You're wearing boxers.
Mhm.
That is unbelievably sexy. Welcome to Call Kass. What's going on with you today, James?
Not much. Just got off work, ate some ramen as quick as possible, and went to the gym. And now I'm on this lovely show.
Yeah, good. Ramen, huh? Are you? Is that by choice or is that just really all you had?
No, it's by choice. I got like a little life hack. You buy a Costco chicken for $5. You eat the Costco chicken. You put the Costco chicken's carcass in an Instapot for 2 hours with a bunch of water, and you have some ramen broth.
Oh my God, that's genius.
Yeah. I supported your decision all along, even though Kassem asked like ramen.
Are you serious? Ramen? No, I'd just like to know what sort of circumstances people are in when they're having ramen. I didn't know if he was carb loading or what the. Trust me, I am not afraid to down a bowl of ramen. I love a ramen.
Okay.
But now because I asked, now we have an Instapot recipe.
That's
so
true.
you're welcome.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
James, do you have a spooky story? What do you think of all the UFO news? Have you ever seen a UFO? Do you believe in aliens? Do you go spookies?
Yeah. Maybe you can help me make sense of this one because it's stumped me my whole life. When I was a kid, just like had a sleepover at a friend's house, and he always said like weird stuff happened once he moved to this house. And then we were just like camping out on his trampoline. Like one night, we were like super young, so we had like toy dinosaurs and stuff that we were playing with.
Okay.
And all three of us just kind of like looked at each other because, and one of my other friends, I made say it first because I saw it, but I want to know if he saw the same thing and if I was just like losing my mind. But the toy dinosaur's eyes lit up red, and then its head turned to like look at us, but not like a predator. Like, you know how they have like eyes on the side of their head? Like one of its eyes was like pointing directly at us.
So was this a little robot dinosaur, a battery operated toy dinosaur that all of a sudden came to life, or was this just a plastic static figure that decided to start moving?
Yeah, like a solid one, you know what I'm saying?
Whoa. And you weren't under the influence as kids, or I would hope not, as a little dinosaur playing kids, that you weren't on any drugs or anything. Jeez,
no, we were like super young.
Crazy.
How old were you? Sorry, you might have already said that.
I was like 10.
10, okay.
Wow. And to this day, you guys still swear to each other that happened?
I mean, I haven't talked to him in like 10 years. It's been a bit, but like all through high school, like we like towards the end of high school, I like went over to the dude who told me like the same thing that we saw, and he was like, "Yeah, no, that happened. I don't know what to say about it, but like I don't know, that happened." I was like, "Okay, all right."
Did you ever play with the toy again? Did you ever try to recreate the magic?
Yeah, whose toy was it?
It was our friend, so the friend that stayed with me through high school, he was like there, but the guy's house we were staying at, he like moved shortly after. Like they were like freaked out living there. So they like moved out of town like shortly after.
Yeah.
Okay. And he had the like toy dinosaur. It was his dinosaur.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Do you have a guess on what happened and what caused the dinosaur to do that? Do you have a theory?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's a pretty wild thing.
I need to know the brand of this. Then I could construct a theory. Maybe it's just lax manufacturing standards, the spirits of various, laborers that built the toy trapped in the dinosaur.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy said that like things would happen all the time. So like a haunting, I don't know, like whatever, something left behind, I have no idea what it would have been, because like all he just said was like freaky stuff happened like that all the time.
So like a poltergeisty type thing could be a working theory. Yeah.
Although we are discounting toy soldier theory here. It could be.
You're right. Absolutely. A Toy Story or a Toy Soldier theory. We're not going to try and figure it out, but those are on the table as of right now. Here's a clip of Toy Soldiers. Thank you so much, James, for calling back. And I appreciate the story and the support of the show, buddy.
Oh, it's small soldiers.
Yeah, thanks as always, Kass.
Thanks.
All right,
thanks,
buddy.
James.
And that's going to do it for our calls today. I know there's one of you that are still on the line from Florida. Please call us back next week when we'll have more time. I'll make sure to put a note to bring you up.
Yeah, if you give the same name, we'll be sure to pull you up early.
They don't have a name, but they are from a place I will remember because it's a funky part of Florida. So thank you so much to all our callers. I want to thank those of you that keep this show going every week by engaging with us. Case is going to go live right now. Do not click off Twitch.
Whoa.
You're just being migrated over to Case's channel as he prepares to go live now. I want to thank you guys for another successful Call Kass. This will be up on our Cream Team YouTube within the next few days. We will have a Patreon episode, ! Patreon. Please join us Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Me and Case will be doing a podcast, and then I will be watching Batman Caped Crusader along with you. I think we're on episode 4. That show still rocks. I'm so glad we're watching it. I will let you guys know when the next stream is. The best thing you can do is just hit that notification, the Twitch notifications. That way you know when I go live, since my schedule's all up in the air right now.